Some leaders wonder why they are usually not at their best. They make a lot of effort. They try a lot of things. They show their people understanding. They encourage their people. They teach them. But somehow they are not making the kind of impact that they want to make. They are not getting the results that they would love to report. They don't even have that credibility and goodwill with their team. So to them, it looks like, what's going on here? What's wrong? What could be the problem? And the problem is what I'm going to be discussing today. Two factors that produce the best in any leader. Two factors that produce the best in any leader. If you understand these factors, if you pay attention to them, then some of those concerns of yours will be a thing of the past. Yes, there will be a thing of the past. There's a way that leaders are prepared to deliver on their mandate. And there are two things that must be at the core of who they are. And those are the things we want to look at this morning on Leadership Monday. It's Leadership Monday. You know what we do on Leadership Monday. It's for you to take the delivery of your target, of your nugget, so that you can do leadership right this week. Is our week-to-week leadership empowerment initiative. And I believe that today something more will be added to you, all right, so that you can do leadership right. And good morning to Mr. Fred and all those who are joining us this morning. It's a pleasure to have you join me this morning. So let's quickly go on, to what we have, Leadership Monday. My name remains Olatunji Shobodu. I'm your anchor, the CEO and founder at Emet Leadership Academy. So choose both is what I said in the thumbnail that I used. Choose both. Choose both of what? Choose two factors. The two factors that bring out the best in any leader. If you are concerned about what you're getting from your leader, if your leader appears to be dropping the ball as far as you are concerned, or maybe you're just not feeling your leader, you are not gaining from your leader, you are not deriving value from following your leader, then pay attention to these two things. At least one of them is missing in your leader. And if both of them are present, then maybe they are not developed sufficiently, all right, to empower the leader to produce the result that true leadership ought to produce in your life. So that's what we want to talk about. You know where we get our inspiration from. It's in the scriptures. That's the source of truth. At Emet Leadership Academy, all right, our commitment is to nurturing leaders based on nothing but the truth. So whatever you hear here, you can run with it. You can take it to the bank, as they say, because it's not because I said it. It's because that's the word of God. And you can't do anything against the word of God. You can only line up yourself with it so that you can fully take advantage of it. Okay, so very quickly, I'm just going to take you directly, to the source of this conclusion. And, it's probably something that you have read uncountable number of times. It may even be a scripture that you can, recall, but it may never have occurred to you. The two factors, the significance, the cornerstone nature of the two factors that, I'll be pointing out to you today. I'm discussing leadership. That's my focus. And So we look at the scriptures in the context of leadership. And that's what Jesus did, for the most part, even though many of us don't talk about that dimension of his ministry as often as we should. Okay, so what basically John 1 and verse 14 talks about it exposes us to the nature of who Christ is. And if you want to understand why someone does what he does, why he gets the results that he gets, why he's able to make the kind of impact that he makes, you need to understand the person. It is the makeup of the person that empowers him or her to do what they do. If you want to get the kind of results I get, you need to take time to study what makes me tick. All right? It is more my personality, my character, if you like, that explains the results I get, the impact I make with people. So when you want to copy people or learn from them, you must be sure what you are looking at. Otherwise, you may be focusing on what is not important. And so in this case, John 1:14 basically says, and the word was made flesh. The word there is talking about Jesus, and dwelt among us for a while. And we beheld his glory, the glory as of the only begotten of the Father, full of grace and truth. He dwells among us. He was with us. He was with people, all right, for a while. He said, look, we beheld his glory, that there was something special about this guy. All right. There was something unique about him. There's something stood out from the way he operated. He was competent like no other person. He didn't fear any situation. He always knew what to do. All right. We beheld his glory, his competence, his uniqueness, his difference. Well, that is likened to the fact that, okay, he's the only begotten Son of God. But then, look at it. They came to a very important conclusion, that he was full of what? Grace and truth. He was full of grace and truth. Those are the two factors that made him that special. Those are the two factors that defined him at his very core. Those are the factors that explain why he produced the kind of results that he produced. Those are the factors that put him in a position to deliver on his mandate, on his leadership mandate. If there is anything that we ascribe to him as an achievement, you want to know what produced it? Grace and truth. Grace and truth. So if you want to operate in his class, what must you go for? Grace and truth. You want to get his kind of results. What do you need? Grace and truth. You want to be a leader like him, and you should, because the impact of his leadership is being felt till today, 2,000 years after. I want to deliver that kind of impact as a leader. So 2,000 years after I've gone, you are still benefiting, all right, from the quality of my leadership. That's what you and I are benefiting today, all right? Because that's what made him to deposit in his people the same kind of character, to transform them to be like him so that they can get results like him, and indeed get greater results than he got. Get greater results than he got. It's interesting, but I, say to people that I haven't read where, 3,000 people, Jesus spoke and 3,000 people said, we are going to follow you. We believe in you. All right. But Peter spoke once, 3,000 said, we believe that Christ you are talking about. He spoke the second time, 5,000. Yes, when Jesus was there, he fed 5,000. Yes, but he also said there, he said, I know the reason you are following me. The reason you are following me was because of the bread and the fish that you ate yesterday. It's not because, you are committed to me. So he didn't have that kind of result at a go. All right. Even though he went from place to place and he got plenty of results. But you see, because of what he deposited in the likes of Peter, people he trained for 3 years and then gave them the same mandate, go and make disciples, of men. They got greater results in numbers. Not that they were greater than him. That's something I always make that distinction. All right. So you want to know how it is that happens. The leader must be full of grace and truth. That's what this leader, who is a role model, was full of. This is the secret behind the impact of his leadership. This is the secret. He was full of grace and truth. If you saw anything that was attractive about him, they said, we beheld his glory. We saw something attractive about him. We saw how different he was. We saw the kind of, works that he did. There were things nobody else had done up till that point. It's because he was full of grace and truth. What does grace mean? All right, so let's get away from the religion dimension of it. Grace simply talks about ability. All right, is knowing how, is a know-how to get a result. It is accompanied by the power to take action. All right, that's grace. It's an empowerment. It's I know what to do. I always know what to do. Jesus was said, John 6 and verse 6, he himself knew what he would do. He always knew what to do. All right, he had the know-how and he had the strength to do what he knew to do. That's grace. That's grace. Grace answers the question, what must I do to get this kind of result? So if you are a leader, you want to know what must you do to get a particular kind of result or to make the kind of impact that your leadership is saddled with or is responsible for. And when you know it, you have the grace to do leadership. You have the grace. What is truth? Truth is direction and guidance, appropriate direction and guidance, appropriate direction and guidance. That's the truth. Now, when you look at what we're talking about, he said it was full of grace and truth, meaning that both of them are required, not one. That's why I said choose both, not one. You must never, a leader must never be satisfied with knowing how. Neither must you be satisfied with knowing the direction to go. They're two different things. And I will illustrate that shortly. Both are important if you must be effective, if you must deliver the impact. You must have them and you must work to continue to grow in them. Because he said full. I mean, that means you can even have grace, you can have truth, you can have ability, you can have direction, but you may not be full of them. All right. So there is a dimension there that talks about measure. And that simply means you have to keep at it. You have to keep building up your ability and know-how. You have to keep, working on your ability to always know the right thing to do, the truth about anything. So none of this is something you acquire once and for all. It's something that you continue to work on. All right? It's something you continue to work on. So if you want to be effective as a leader, you need the ability and you need the truth. The truth, another word I've used in this session, is principles. Principles represent the truth because that's the way to go. They tell you that there's a destination. And if you do the things, because this is how things work, you will get to that destination. Let me make the distinction. So both of these factors, ability and principles, they complete a leader's readiness to deliver. So if your leader is dropping the ball, if you are not feeling the impact of your leader is lacking in at least one of these two. Your leader may be lacking in understanding, not knowing how to get things done, or your leader may know how to get things done, and be lacking in direction. All right, let me give you one or two illustrations. Ecclesiastes 10 and verse 15 says, "The labor of the foolish wearies all of them, because they don't know how to get to the city." Notice that statement, the labor of the foolish. So the foolish, it didn't say that, the foolish does not know how to get things done. He said the labor of the foolish. So the foolish is working. The foolish has some know-how. But the foolish is lacking in truth, lacks direction. It does not know how to get to the city. I mean, if you and I are traveling and we're driving, we are heading towards location A. We're driving. We know how to drive. Our car is fueled. And we get on the express road. But where are we heading? We keep driving, but we never get to a destination. We are laboring. We are driving properly because we know how to drive the car. And it's the car that we need to put on the road. We know it takes a car to get to where we are going. So we have the grace, we have the ability, we have the power, but we lack the direction. We lack the truth about how to get to the destination. So you see, you can have the grace and lack the truth. You can predict what the result will be: frustration. So the labor of the foolish wearies all of them because they don't know how to get the results that they desire. Grace does not get the result by itself. It's incapable of delivering result. Truth is required to help you to properly direct grace, which is your effort, so that you can get result. And a lot of people need to understand this. A lot of leaders need to understand this. You are capable, but you don't know the truth. And then let's look at the other way around. Some know the truth, but they lack the ability to get things done. They know the principles. They can explain the principles. But ask them to do it. They lack the ability to do it. And that's a sorry situation. It's the kind of situation that Hezekiah was reported to be facing in Isaiah 37 and verse 3, because some enemies rose up against him. And he lamented. He said, this is a day of distress, a day of rebuke, a day of disgrace. Why? He said, the baby has come to birth and there is no strength to bring forth. Can you imagine? A woman comes to labor. At that point, you need to push, but she has no strength to push. Thank God for alternatives. Today that you can do a CS or something, but it is not a pleasant situation. And that's the situation that a lot of leaders face. They know what to do. They are in possession of the truth, but they lack the ability. The baby has come to birth, but there is no strength to bring it forth. So you see, grace is strength. You need both the strength and the truth. You need both the strength and the direction, so that you are not frustrated, you are not disgraced. So the same glory that you saw in that leader called Jesus, you can also bring forth. Why did they see that glory? Behind it was grace and truth. Two factors that brought out the best in the leader. They will do the same for you today. They will do the same for me today. If you and I will know exactly, all right, to pursue each of these two, then we will see the results. The results will follow. So ability without principles will lead to frustration. It's like having power without purpose. It's like having power without purpose. And principles without ability, truth without grace, will lead to stagnation, ineffectiveness, because that's like purpose without the power to pursue, purpose without the power to pursue. If you look at Habakkuk chapter 2 and verses 1 to 4, it said, I will stand upon my watch to see what he will say to me, all right, and what I will say in return, all right, when he has spoken. And then he said, write the vision, the direction, the truth. This is the way to go. Make it plain upon the tablets, that he may run that reads it. So you need both the truth, which is the vision in that case, which is the direction, which is guidance. And then you are going to run. You can't just take possession of the vision and then wait or stay and not know what to do with it. You need to run. Whoever reads it is expected to run with it. So make it plain upon the tablets, that he may run that reads it. And it tells you that as you run, there are things to follow. All right? Though it tarries, though your result tarries, wait for it. It will not tarry. All right? The vision is for an appointed time, and at the end it shall speak and not lie. Principle. So there is the principle that guides the entire approach, but there is the ability that helps you to follow through with the principle. Both of them, not one of them, is required. Both, not one, is required. So choose both. So choose both. Now, how do you access and build that ability? How do you access and build that ability? I would give you very quick guidelines. Now, the first to develop that ability, or if you like to develop that grace, is be intentional, undertake intentional, purposeful, strategic, continuous learning, and self-improvement. You have to be intentional about going after knowledge, learning continuously, all right? Committed to improving yourself, committed to improving yourself. Leaders are always learning. Leaders are always learning. Leaders are always learning. And this is the reason why. Because the more you learn, the greater the grace. The more you learn, the greater the strength. All right? It said, they that know their God, they shall be strong and they shall do exploits. So you see the connection of knowledge to strength, and strength to, ability to get results. And then how do you, another thing about building grace is this. You also need to learn about your leader. To learn about your leader, because it's not just getting general knowledge, it's also getting requisite knowledge about how to do leadership right. All right. And that comes from your leader, or from a coach, or a mentor. All right. It's very important to highlight that. It's very important to highlight that. And then, of course, how do you acquire truth? I love what Proverbs 23:23 says. It said, buy the truth and sell it not. Buy the truth and sell it not. Buy the truth and sell it not. So you go after truth. All right? Like I said, we pride ourselves seriously at Emet Leadership Academy on delivering truth. So when we offer programs, you know what to get, what you're going to get out of it. You get direction and guidance on how to get things done. As far as leadership is concerned, direction, the right direction you will get from here. By the truth. Why did Solomon write in Proverbs, buy the truth and never sell it? It means that don't approach this matter of truth casually. It's too important to approach it casually. If you have to pay for it, pay for it. And it means there is no amount you pay for it that will not be worth your while. That will not be worth your while. Imagine what the foolish guy who was laboring would have paid to prevent a waste of his time. He wearied himself, working very hard in pursuit of something he didn't know how to get to. It was a shame. It was a sorry case. But only later I would discover what's the problem. How do I get to this place? But imagine what he could have paid to ask somebody, this is where I'm going. How do I get there? All right. So that's it. That's it. So I would say that you want the best to come out of you as a leader, acquire leadership training. Leadership training that arms you with the two factors. It arms you with ability. It arms you with principles. It arms you with truth. It arms you with grace. The package must be total and complete, not one or the other. Not one or the other, because now you know that if you go and get training that is only about how to build capacity, strength, know-how, and does not provide you with direction and guidance, you are shortchanging yourself. On the other hand, if you go for direction and guidance alone, and the program does not empower you with strength, you have also shortchanged yourself. In order to operate as an effective leader, you must possess, like Jesus did, truth and grace. They are the two inputs that must constitute any leadership development effort that you undertake, because they help to produce the best in you as a leader. just as they did in the case of Jesus. So which of them do you possess? Do you possess the two? Or do you possess one, or do you possess none? Because some people actually are in leadership positions and they possess none. You can see how much of a danger they are to the people they lead, and a sorry case to themselves, because they'll be frustrated, they'll be disgraced. Ultimately, that's the consequence of trying to do leadership without having been wired sufficiently for it. That's the consequence. That's the consequence. So you need to continue to work on this, to build up your ability, to build up your knowledge of the truth, your ability to figure things out. Because as you do leadership, just as it is with machines, your effectiveness will be challenged, will dull over time. And so you need to sharpen your leadership axe. And what it takes is continuous pursuit of the ability, that is the grace, and the truth, which are the principles. Continue at that. They help to continue to sharpen your leadership axe, and they make you ever so effective in your role as a leader. So you want your best to be put out there for the benefit of your people, for the benefit of the organization you work for. These are the two factors that you need to choose, that you need to go after, that you need to continue to develop in yourself, so that you can be full of them. And it is impossible to be full of them and not do the right thing at all times, and not have the strength to do the right things at all times. Both you need to choose. Both you need to focus on. Both you need to continue to grow. And you would never express disappointment about the effectiveness of your leadership ever again. Those are my nuggets for you this morning. If you will reflect on them, if you will run with them, now that you have had them, be on the lookout. See how more easily you roll with your leadership responsibility and get results that you never used to get. That's the secret. This is what it takes. Thank you once again for joining me. Don't forget to share the link. Don't forget to introduce this to others. Every Monday we're here. You'd have one nugget at least to pick up that helps you to do leadership right. And on Wednesdays, Leadership in 30 Minutes. All right, we discuss something else that, further builds your knowledge of leadership and builds your capacity to do leadership right. It is so, so important. And be reminded that I started the Leaders Pray series 2 weeks ago now, and the last session was on, you see there, let this cup pass. So Leaders Pray comes up on Tuesday evenings, and the idea is to address the spiritual empowerment that leaders require. Leaders don't pray like everybody else. They pray in relation to their responsibility, and you need to know what kinds of prayers to pray as a leader, and how they how they empower you to do leadership right. Okay, how to empower you to do leadership right is on Tuesdays. And then, of course, I'm going to resume the Smart Leader Live from this Saturday. Smart Leader Live is the opportunity that I give to anyone to come and ask me live on that platform. Is a Zoom platform. You can join me to ask questions on any aspect of leadership, life. The time is between 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. West African time. I'll be there live to take any question and hopefully to support you to become, more capable, more competent leaders. That's what we do from Saturday evening. Smart Leader Live it is. Don't forget, as I round up the program, let me share with you first the program Antidote. Antidote is a special program that, I designed to empower leaders with what they require to subdue the odds against their success. The point is that, you see, in our quest for success, we will meet odds. There will be challenges. The odds against your success, my success, is huge. Is at least 75%, and I can prove that to you. That's why many people fail, in spite of all the effort, because there are odds that will arise. If you can't overcome them, you will never succeed. So the people who succeed have built the capacity, all right? They have the antidote to beat those odds. That's what Antidote is about. It's a 4-week program, a special masterclass. We meet on Saturdays and Sundays, and I will walk you through a framework that you can use that helps you to build the capacity to overcome the odds against your success. Wouldn't you like, to be a part of that? So you see, the link is scrolling beneath the screen. You can follow that link and secure your seat in that class. That's a master class that you want to be a part of. That's like nothing you will find anywhere else. And you know that we're going to draw from the truth. Nothing. No foundation is as strong as the truth. The other one that, you should take interest in also, and the links to these programs you would find in the description area. Equip is a second program. This is a 40-day boot camp. It's a boot camp because over 40 days consecutively, I will lead you through an adventure in the parables of Jesus that will thoroughly furnish you to excel going forward in life. All right, thoroughly equip you to be able to handle virtually any situation. This program will build an excellent spirit in you after the order of Daniel, after the order of Jesus. All right, and the way we will do that is a focused, all right, intentional and strategic adventure, expert-led. I'll be guiding you through the 38 parables of Jesus. If you lay hold on the secrets of those parables, which represented a significant feature of his work and his life and his mode of operation, you will see how it will shape that excellent spirit in you, and you move into a new realm altogether. So I'm explaining what is behind each of these programs. They are not ordinary programs, and you won't find them elsewhere to the best of my knowledge. They are empowering in very unique, dimensions. Each one of our programs is well thought through, has its own, justification and motivation, and we're clear about what it is that we promise to deliver at the end of the program. Equip is what, we have called that program. Is a 40-day masterclass. The sessions, your investment of 90 minutes every day. All right. It starts on the 1st of every month. So we're going to be starting about 2-3 days from now, 1st of March. and it will run for 40 days, 40 consecutive days. All right. The opening on the first day, and then we take each of the parables over 38 days, and the closing on the last day, the 40th day. You come out of that adventure, you'll be somebody else completely. You'll be somebody else completely. You'll be somebody else completely. That's antidote and equip. So I thought I should share that with you. Once again, please feel free to share it with your friends, and with your colleagues, as the case may be. People will benefit from these programs. People will benefit from these programs. I think it's a good place to stop for today. Once again, thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your week. I look forward to seeing you in those programs. I look forward to you joining me to pray tomorrow on Leaders Pray, and also on Wednesday to further dig deep into leadership wisdom, all of which are addressed or intended to make a strong and effective leader out of you and I. God bless you. Bye-bye.